Hi everyone, I'm Chris. This is my channel, The Vinyl Orchard. Thank you for popping by. This week I've mainly been listening to 80s hard rock. Now, probably 60% of my collection is 1970s. That's my default kind of decade, really. I was a teenager in the 70s, and I think you don't have to look very hard to find some absolutely fantastic hard rock songs from the 70s. It's a little bit harder, I think, in the 80s, but this week I've mainly been playing stuff from the 80s from my collection. So what I've got for you today is 20 songs from 20 different artists from 20 different albums. That I think are some of the best songs that came out in the hard rock genre in the 1980s. Now, I'm not going to include 1980. I did a video a while ago making a claim for 1980 being one of the best years ever for rock. So this is from 81 through to 89. So let me know what you think about this collection in the comments below. Now, number 20 is a band. This is an album produced by Bob Rock. It's a band who produced this album on Beggars Banquet, a label that's not renowned for hard rock, but it's a fantastic album. I haven't played it for ages, and I really enjoyed it. It's from 1989, and it is the Cults' Sonic Temple. Fantastic hard rock album. Now this, I think, started off being quite gothy, but this is definitely a hard rock album. The first side is absolutely fantastic. Sun King, Firewoman, American Horse, Eddie, Chow Baby, Sweet Soul Sister. Side 2 is good, but side 1 is fantastic. The song I'm choosing from here at number 20 is Firewoman. Fantastic tune. At number 19 is a band who played at Glastonbury a couple of years ago, a band that when they came out in the late 80s I didn't really get. I don't know if I get them now. I watched the set they did at Glastonbury a few years ago. The singer's kind of lost his voice quite a lot, but the guitarist, I think, retains his style and his tone, and I love his work, actually. And that's Guns N' Roses, so their classic album from, 87, Appetite for Destruction. I believe this cover possibly got banned, so I better take that down. But there's a few, really good songs on here, especially on side 1. In fact, side 2 isn't bad either. So as I said, I'm not massive on this band, but I love Paradise City. I think it's a great song. It's got a great tune. The guitar work on it is fantastic. What a guitar tone Slash has. Now, number 18 is an American band on a French label. I think it's called Career Records, which is not a label that particularly ever really knew what to do with a rock band, I don't think. And this album has been, I think, re-recorded over the years with different lineups. The band is Dokken. The album is Breaking the Chains. This is the first original album on Career Records from 1982. I bought this in 1982 on a recommendation from Sounds, and I really enjoy this album, actually. The guitar work on it from George Lynch is really good. The name is from the main man, Don Dokken. But the title track that opens the album, Breaking the Chains, great song, and that's my number 18. And number 17 is a band, I think, from New York. I saw them support Sammy Hagar at Portsmouth Guildhall in 1981. They were very, very good. I think I prefer the album that came before this, but I think this is a really good album. It's often seen as their best album. From 1981, this is Riot and Fire Down Under, a band that always had this strange mascot, seal kind of character on a lot of their album covers. And there's some fantastic songs on here. The title track, Fire Down Under, is great. Don't Hold Back, Ultra the King. Don't Bring Me Down is great. But Swords and Tequila, that opens the album, is a fantastic hard rock song. And that's my number 17. And number 16 is a song and an album I showed on my Rainbow Family Tree video that I recently did. And it comes from the Michael Schenker group, Assault Attack, the only album that Michael Schenker did with Graham Bonnet, the guy who played in Rainbow and Alcatraz, amongst other things, and the Marbles in the 60s. But the Desert song on here is fantastic. The vocals are great. The guitar work is brilliant, as you would imagine from Michael Schenker, kind of fluid and melodic. But Desert Song has this wonderful build up to it. It's a fantastic song. And that's my number 16, 80s hard rock songs. At number 15 is a band that would be very much in the heavy metal genre. In fact, I think they invented heavy metal. And of course, that's Black Sabbath. They brought out a couple of albums in the 80s, one of which was meant to be a solo album, a Tony Iommi solo album, but it ended up, I think, due to pressure from the record company, being a full-on Black Sabbath album. But it's not heavy metal, it's definitely hard rock with a little bit of blues in it as well. And that is, of course, Black Sabbath's Seventh Star, which has obviously Tony Iommi. It also has Glenn Hughes on vocals, and he does a fantastic job. It isn't very Black Sabbath, but it's certainly a really good hard rock album. And so at number 15 is In for the Kill, the opening track on the album. Fantastic hard rock song. At number 14, now I streamed it this week actually because I couldn't find the single anywhere. I do have somewhere in this room this particular single. Thinking about Black Sabbath, obviously they've had a number of vocalists over the years, but the most famous one sadly passed away recently, Ozzy Osbourne. And so at number 14 is a song by Ozzy, and that's Shot in the Dark. I think it's a great song. It's got a lovely melody. It's got some great guitar work. Is it Jakey Lee possibly that does guitar on it? But Shot in the Dark is my number 14. At number 13 is a guy who's made his name by doing instrumental stuff, instrumental guitar stuff. In fact, he's almost like the granddaddy of it, if I'm really honest. He had a short time playing with Deep Purple. He filled in for Richie Blackmore, who suddenly left in the 90s, and did a fantastic job. At the live albums that you can hear, the bootlegs with this guy playing with Deep Purple, are very, very good. I'd love it if he had recorded with them a studio album, but sadly he didn't. This is, of course, Joe Satriani and Flying in a Blue Dream. Now, his debut is great as well, but I love this album. It's got some fantastic songs. The title track is great, Can't Slow Down, One Big Rush, Back to Shalabau, some brilliant instrumental guitar stuff. But the song I'm choosing from here has got him singing on it, and he's not a brilliant singer, but I love the song. It's Big Bad Moon. It's just a brilliant song with some amazing guitar work, as you can imagine, from Joe Satriani. That's from, what, 87, I think, 88, somewhere around there. Okay, number 12 is a band that features a vocalist who played with Rainbow on 3 albums. His name is Joe Lynn Turner. And when he left, he's done a variety of projects, but he did 2 albums, I think it was just 2, with this particular guitarist, a live album, and this album, Odyssey, by Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force. This is often referred to as the best album Rainbow never recorded. Malmsteen, very much a kind of Blackmore-influenced guitarist, although also very classically influenced, and I think plays too many notes, a bit like Mozart did, apparently. But the opening track on here, Rising Force, absolute hard rock classic. Brilliant. The guitar work is fantastic. The vocals from Joe Lynn Turner are sensational, and that's at number 12. At number 11, a band, quite divisive band, divides opinion quite a lot, I think. But I love this song. It's, I think, one of their first ever singles, and I've got it on a 12-inch. And it comes from their first album from about 84, I think. The album is Bon Jovi, and the song is Runaway. I think this is their best song. I love this song. It's a really good hard rock song. It's catchy, very melodic, great guitar work on it. Good vocals as well, of course, from John Bon Jovi. But yeah, look at that, very, very 80s. But that song, fantastic stuff. That's at number 11. Okay, top 10. At number 10 is an album I bought when I went to America in 1981 to see some relations who lived near California. And I was quite into the band from which this guy came from. And I saw this in a record shop and I bought it, and I'm really glad I did. And I've loved it ever since, although a lot of people don't like it. I do. I've got the Rock and Rolls Again by the Joe Perry Project, obviously the guitarist from Aerosmith. He left briefly, was replaced for 1 album, I think, and then returned. Did a number of solo albums. This is the second. But this is a great, I really enjoy this album. East Coast, West Coast is great. Soldier of Fortune is great. South Station Blues is fantastic. But the title track, I've got the Rock and Rolls Again, is just great. Starts off slowly and then goes into a brilliant riff. The drums and the bass just will blow the grills off your speaker. If you've got half decent stereo, put this on, crank it up. It'll take the grills off. It's brilliant. I got the Rock and Rolls Again, Joe Perry Project. At number 9 is a song that actually comes from a 1980 album. Bit of a cheat here. So I'm going to show the live version of it. And I think the live version is a lot better. So the band of Blue Oyster Cult, the album that this song came from is Fire of Unknown Origin. And the song is called Veteran of the Psychic Wars. And I'm going to show this, though. This is Extraterrestrial Live, their 3rd live album. Good live album, a mixture of old stuff, Cities on Flame, Hot Rails to Hell, Don't Fear the Reaper. But it's also got some new stuff, Burning for You, Black Blade, Veteran of the Psychic Wars. And it's a much longer version than the studio, and it's got some brilliant guitar work on it from Buck Dharma towards the end. It is fantastic. It knocks the socks off the studio. It's just superb. So that's my number 9, Blue Oyster Cult live, Veteran of the Psychic Wars. At number 8, this is probably more of an AOR band, but this is probably their hardest rocking song. They had 2 guitarists, a guy called Jeff Watson and another guy called Brad Gillis, who had made his name briefly as Randy Rhoads' substitute after Randy Rhoads died in a plane crash. And he played, I think, on a couple of tours, maybe just one tour, but was the guitarist who plays on the live album, which with lots of Black Sabbath covers, and a very good guitarist he is. And the opening track to their debut album, Dawn Patrol by Night Ranger, is fantastic. It's called Don't Tell Me That You Love Me. Absolutely fantastic hard rock song, Don't Tell Me You Love Me by Night Ranger from what, this is I think 82, I'm going to say 83, but I might be wrong. I think somewhere around about there. But great rock. The 2 guitarists, fantastic. Twin guitar stuff going on, magnificent. At number 7, I have reservations about including the next band because they kind of were originally a bit of a blues rock band, British band, but they started to have more and more American players playing for them over the years. And in probably about 1985, 6, 7, their sound changed. It became much more big hair, much louder, much more metal, much less blues rock. And the band are Whitesnake. And this is their album from 1987, often referred to as 1987. I think it was just self-titled Whitesnake, but it's that's obviously the picture disc version of it. But the opening track on this album, I think, is a hard rock classic. And that, of course, is Still of the Night. Just a brilliant song. Absolutely love it. The guitar work on it from John Sykes is fantastic. It's a great song done live as well, but a bit Led Zeppelin-esque in places, but the guitar work is so powerful. And the middle section, yeah, it's brilliant. So that's at number 6. No, number 7. At number 6, a band that you may or may not have heard of. I bought this album quite a long time ago now, as kind of I just like the look of it, so I thought I'd buy it. It also had a cover of Fleetwood Mac on it, The Chain, which I really like. So I thought it might be interesting. It was just a 50p album. Turns out it's a really, really good hard rock album. The band are called Shark Island, and this is called Law of the Order. I don't know where it sits in their discography. I don't know anything about the band. But this is a great album. It's a really good hard rock album. Some great tunes on here. The vocals are fantastic. But Paris Calling, which is the song that opens the album, is a brilliant hard rock tune. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a great build up. It's reasonably melodic. It's powerful. It's fantastic. Paris Calling by Shark Island from 88, 89 on the album Law of the Order. At number 5's one of those singles. It's in here somewhere. I just couldn't find it. And it's the singer from Van Halen, Dave Lee Roth. And Just Like Paradise. I think that's just a brilliant hard rock song. It's melodic, but the guitar work on it is fantastic as well. So that's at number 6. And apologies for not showing it. It's in here. I don't know where it is, somewhere. At number 4 is the band he came from. And this is the last album he did, I think, before some kind of reunion, not 20 years ago or whenever it was. This is 1984 from Van Halen. And it's not Jump I'm choosing, it's Panama. The guitar work on Panama is absolutely brilliant. So obviously Eddie Van Halen creates the Van Halen sound. I think, though, alongside Michael Anthony. I think Michael Anthony is one of the most underrated players in hard rock history, because he just creates with his kind of backing vocals the sound of Van Halen. So yes, it's of course Eddie's guitar, but but the Michael Anthony's backing vocals are just brilliant. And Panama is such a powerful song. Fantastic. That's at number 4. And number 3 is a guy who I think quite often gets overlooked in terms of, being one of the greatest guitarists in hard rock. He's a Canadian guy, and it's someone I've been into since 1978. I bought his live album in 1978, was blown away by that, and have pretty much everything he's produced ever since. This is an album from 81. And the song I'm going to choose from this album is the closing song from The Power of Rock and Roll by Frank Marino. This is Canadian guitarist. People need to be talking about this guy more. He's absolutely sensational. I love his stuff. The closing track is Ain't Dead Yet. The guitar work on it is out of this world. An absolute bona fide hard rock classic from 81. At number 2 is a band that, again, quite a divisive band in some ways, because they've had some success, and notably with a fair few ballads actually over the years. So Still They Ride, Open Arms, Don't Stop Believing. Of course, the band is Journey. I wish I'd written Don't Stop Believing. That's probably had several billion downloads, hasn't it? But the follow-up to the album that those songs were on, those big songs were on, which was the album Escape, was the album Frontiers, which came out in 1983, a kind of heavier album, actually, in some ways, than Escape. Not as good as Escape, but still a very, very good album. But the song that opens up side 2 is Journey at almost their heaviest. It's called Edge of the Blade. Now, Neil Schon, their guitarist, who was previously in Santana, then joined up with Greg Rowley to create a kind of a jazz rocky kind of band called Journey, who then enlisted the support of Steve Perry, the vocalist, and their sound changed. And they became much more kind of AOR stadium rock. And that's pretty much what's on this album with, you know, Sender My Love, Chain Reaction, Separate Ways, Faithfully, one of those kind of big Journey ballads. But Edge of the Blade, if you think, no, I'm just dismissing Journey as kind of some kind of, you know, soppy kind of soft band, listen to Edge of the Blade. Listen to the guitar work from Neil Schon on Edge of the Blade. Out of this world. At number 1, my favourite hard rock song from the 1980s. And I don't know if you probably could guess this, actually. This is a band. I first bought one of their albums in 1981 when I was in California, actually, on holiday. The album was called Earthshaker. It was the 3rd album by a band who changed their name for that 3rd album from Yesterday and Today to Y&T. And the album Earthshaker from 81 had a song on it called Hurricane, which probably could have made this list quite easily. However, in 1982, they brought out an album called Black Tiger. So this is Y&T, Black Tiger from 1982. Now, Open Fire, the opening song, is a fantastic hard rock song, but the song that closes side 1 is just off the charts for me. It's a brilliant song. It's called Forever. Now, this band, I think they're all dead now, bar the main guy, David Meniketti. David Meniketti is a great vocalist and a great lead guitarist as well. He can do both things. Fantastic. Great voice, great guitar work, great guitar tone, fantastic solos, brilliant riffs. And in Forever, I think, one of the best hard rock songs, if not the best hard rock song from the 1980s. So there you go. There's 20 of my favourites. I'm sure I've missed some without a doubt, but tell me what yours are in the comments below. I look forward to hearing and seeing the kind of songs that you've chosen as your favourites from hard rock from the 1980s. Thanks very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll be back sometime with another video. Cheers.